In this video, let us learn how to write content into a CSV file and how we can read content from CSV file. Before that, first we need to understand about CSV file. CSV stands for comma separated values. It is a simple plain text file format for storing tabular data. The tabular data means our Excel data or database that is represents tabular data. CSV files are most commonly encountered in spreadsheets and databases. In CSV file, each line indicates a row and comma separated each value represents a column. And CSV files are used for importing and exporting data between various applications. So in this session, first we need to learn about how to write content into a CSV file, and second one, how to read content from CSV file. So in order to achieve this one, first we need to create a project. So we need to open the IntelliJ. We can create one Maven project. So we'll open the IntelliJ tool and we can create a Maven project. New project. So first we need to provide the project name. The project name we can provide CSV file operations. We can provide CSV file operations. So now the location, either you can provide the same location or we can change the different location. This location acts as a workspace. CSV file operations, it represents as a project name. So JDK, it shows as a 17 and the catalog is internal. Now archetype Maven archetype quick start. Archetype quick start we need to select. So the version should be 1.4, and in the left hand side we should select Maven archetype. By default for us it is selected as a Maven archetype. So now we can click on advanced settings. So the group ID, it is showing as a com.exit testing. In my previous project I was edited here com.exit testing. By default it will show org.example, but I only modified it as a com.exit string. And artifact ID and the project name always should be the same. Next one, version, it is showing now 1.0 snapshot. So now if you can click on create button to create the Maven project. So click on this window. So currently it's loading the dependencies. It takes some time. So once after loading the Maven project, okay, we will continue with the CSV file operations. Yes, currently the build becomes success. So we can minimize the console. And here in the pom.xml file, there is a section called properties. So there the compiler source and the compiler target version should be 1.8. And save this particular changes. Once after saving these changes, before performing the CSV file write or read operation, first we need to add the dependency, the CSV dependency we should add. In order to add the CSV dependency, first we need to open Maven repositories, MVN REPOSA, mavenrepository.com. This is the official website. There we can get required dependencies. So here we need to search open CSV. So it displays it displays a lot of search results. There we need to select the open CSV. The package should be com.open CSV. So just click on the open CSV, and here we need to select the appropriate version. It should be contains more usages since we are using a Maven project. So we should be Maven project. It should contains more usage. It should be latest and contains more usages. So it should be more latest means we will select this particular one 5.11.2, or we can select the latest one only 5.12. Select the 5.12. Since our project is a Maven project, so for that purpose, so we should be by default this is going to show Maven. If it is our Gradle project, we need to select the Gradle dependencies. So implementation you need to select. Since our project is a Maven, we should select this particular dependency. Copy this particular dependency, and in our Maven project, in the dependency section, just paste this particular dependency. So now Control A and Control plus Alt plus L. It will format our pom.xml file. In order to format the XML file, we should select whole content and Control plus Alt plus L we need to press. So once after formatting our pom.xml file, save this particular changes. Currently, in order to download this one, by default it's supposed to download it. If it is not downloads by default, in the right hand side there is a Maven option. Click on the Maven option, and under download select the option called download source and documentation, and afterwards you can click on sync or reload project. It takes some time to reload the project. So once after reloading the project, yes, it has downloaded the open CSV dependencies centralized Maven repositories to our local repository called .m2. Okay. Once after downloading this particular our dependencies, next we need to expand the SRC. Currently we have a two navigation, main and text. So since this particular CSV we are learning for development purpose, that's the reason I need to expand the main session and right click on the package and create a new package called CSV. In this particular package, create a new source file, that is write CSV content demo. Create a source file called write CSV content demo. So create a main method and create a static method write content. So call this particular method in a main method for execution purpose. So the body of the method should contain try catch block, and we should use finally block. The main reason for using the finally block, it is an optional block. Irrespective of exception arised or not, this block executes always. Currently we are interacting with our files, so we supposed to perform the cleanup activities. So that's the reason we are using finally block. Now we should perform the write operation into a .csv file. In order to achieve this one, first we need to create a file writer object. File writer is a text character stream class. File writer fw is equal to null, and we need to use our open CSV file, that is called as a CSV writer. com.open CSV writer and writer is equal to null. So now we need to allocate the memory for FW file writer is equal to new file writer of, we need to provide the file name. So under example folder, so we need to provide the file name as employees.csv file. The file writer object we should pass as a parameter to CSV writer constructor. So it is a good practice we supposed to do cleanup activities writer.flush and writer.close operations we supposed to do. So once after performing the cleanup operation for each created object, now we should start writing the content. In CSV file, the first line represents headers. So string is equal to what are the headers are required. So each headers we should write. Since it is an employee, so it should be employee ID, AMP name, job name, salary, DEPT name, and a location. So here we can correct the data now. Once after correcting the data, as everything is separated by comma properly, and we have kept, I written one extra double quotes now, everything is fine now. The same data we have to write writer dot write method, write next. So it is accepting string array as a parameter. Write next, we have to provide the same string array we need to provide headers. Similar way, we should provide each row of data. With respect to employee ID, we should provide the employee ID 7211, employee name is Santosh, any name you can just provide. Job name is manager and salary was 45,000 and department name is research and the location is Bangalore. Either you can provide Bangalore or Raichur, anything you can just provide Raichur. And same, this particular data also we should write writer dot write next. Yes, we should provide row 1. Similar way, we should create one more row. So we can provide the data 7212 Vinith, any name you can just provide. Job as analyst and salary was 24,000 and this is for accounting and place name was which one, Bellary. So the same row we need to add into writer dot write next the same what the array we have created, the same array we have to pass as a parameter to our write next method. Yes, we have started creating the row 2. Then again row 3. So next one comes 7213 Srinivas. So now his designation was clerk and his salary was 32,000 and his city name was Bangalore, and so his department name. The next one called department. Department name was sales or accounting or operations. Anything you can just provide. Operations, and city name was Bangalore. So once after providing the creating the row 3, so now by using writer object dot write next, we can pass the same object as a parameter right here, row 3. Similar way, we can provide n number of rows of data in this particular manner we can able to create. Once after providing 3 lines of row, just run this particular example. Go to example folder. So the file called CSV example.csv file got created. Now either you can open this particular CSV in a Notepad or Notepad++ or Excel. If we open, by default it opens in a Excel only. Okay, here we can able to see the file, the CSV file content we can able to view. Either you can able to open in a or you can open in a Notepad also we can open. Select the Notepad and just once is we can able to see the data. Or you can open in a Notepad++ also we can open it. So we can open in a Notepad++. Yes, by using our file writer and CSV writer object, we can write the content into a CSV file. Comma separated content we can write into our employees.csv file. The next, we'll try to read content from CSV file. Yes, we have achieved how to write the content into a CSV file. In order to write the content into a CSV file, we should require file writer and CSV writer. These two classes. Based on these two class object, we can achieve writing content into a CSV file. The next one, we need to achieve or we need to perform read content from CSV file. So currently we have a file called employees.csv file is already available. Based from this particular file, we'll start reading the content from CSV file. So again, right click on the CSV file, CSV package and Java class read CSV content demo and specify the main method and write a method read content. It is a good practice. The method body should contain try catch block and we need to call this particular method. So since we are interacting with the character stream, so because we are reading the content, it is a good practice we should use finally block for closing the files. Finally is an optional block. Irrespective of exception arised or not, this block executes always. That's the reason it is a good practice we should perform the closing the file, flushing the memory, those kind of activities we have to do it in a finally block. Now we should create a object for file reader and CSV reader. So the file reader is a character stream. File reader fr is equal to null. By default, reference variable contains null value. CSV reader is equal to null value. So now we need to allocate the memory for fr. Fr is equal to new file reader of. In our case, the file is available in example folder. The file name is employees.csv file. We need to copy the file name. The same file reader object we should pass as a parameter to CSV reader constructor. So reader is equal to new CSV reader. So for this particular constructor, we should pass file reader object as a parameter. So it is a good practice. We should perform file reader.close and reader.close. We should perform the closing the both the objects. Okay, now since our CSV file contains comma separated data, it contains comma separated data. For that purpose, the first step we need to open the .csv file in a notepad++. We can see this is a comma separated data. We should read line by line. So once after reading the line by line, it contains n number of values. So we need to read each and every values we should read it. So for that purpose, the first one, string data is equal to null. Now we need to write while loop till it reaches to null value. It has to be read the content, because end of the file with respect to CSV file, because if with respect to file by stream and character stream, the end of the file represents -1. But here we are using the CSV reader object. So that's the reason here the end of the file the represented by null value. So that's the reason we should use data is equal to reader dot read next. If it is not equal to null, then only we start reading the content. Here we are using string data array. The main reason for using string data array, the reason the read next method always returns an string array. The read next method always returns a string array. So once we can get the array, data is nothing but a string array only. So as soon as if we can get the array, we can use for loop int I is equal to 0, I less than data dot length and I plus plus. It means that every row in the .csv file, it returns in the form of an string array. From the string array, we start reading the one by one element. Out. So we can just use print data of I plus comma. We are using comma. And once after printing the complete row, I would like to apply the new line character. So that's the reason I'm using println. So we are performing the close operations properly. So now we are start reading the content now. So cannot find symbol. It's telling variable data dot. So somewhere else I done this spelling mistake here. So instead of providing the data, I just provided DAT. So because of this particular mistake only we are getting on compilation error. Now again right click and execute. So it was reading the content properly. So by using OpenCSV, we can able to write the content into a CSV file, and we can write the content into a CSV file, and we can read the content from CSV file.